What's going on, guys? Good morning. Good morning. Today, I just want to touch briefly on the division amongst carriers. Okay, guys. Remember, our battle is not against each other. I see a lot of carriers dividing themselves based off of this whole table one, table two, old timer, newcomer, regular CCA. You know, when it comes down to the gritty of it, our biggest concern should be craft versus management. Now, what I'm saying is, while there may be differences between pay and some people may feel like it's unequal, okay, that's neither here or there. The biggest threat, okay, and disagree with me on me talking about pay, okay? Ultimately, we have no control over that, and I hate to be the person to say it, but when we got hired, we were offered a position, and the pay was clearly there. We accepted it. With what's happening in the country, has that pay kept up with inflation? Absolutely not. Do younger carriers probably need a couple more dollars to stay afloat? Absolutely. That's not the point of this video. The point of this video is, instead of using petty differences to separate the carriers, what we need to understand is the biggest threat to the person we bargain against, which is management, the biggest threat to our employer, the biggest threat to USPS is an educated NALC workforce. Okay? And what I'm trying to say is, an educated member who knows what he's talking about is a threat, not only to management, but also to NALC. Now, I'm not saying to educate yourself and attack the union. What I'm saying is educate yourself to protect the membership. Okay. Knowledge is so powerful that it is hidden in books. Okay. If I had to take a guess, I would say 80% of carriers work their entire career and never read the contract that they are governed by. If they have an issue or if they are called in for discipline, they call upon their union steward, which they put 100% faith in that the issue will be resolved. In a perfect world, that's what happens, okay? We elect our steward protects us, okay? But the amount of knowledge that steward has is going to be based on how he interprets the contract, how he was taught by the president, the issues that he fights for, arbitrates for, again, is going to be at the discretion of the union president. If the union president wants to fight that issue, or if he wants to nip it in the bud with the postmaster, that's what happens when you put your faith into the institution. When you know your stuff, when you know your contract, well, now you can provide your own grievances to the steward, okay? Because you know that there was a infraction of this article, of this clause, management violated it, okay? And if you know your stuff, you won't settle. You'll want it to go to a step B decision. You want to escalate it, okay? If you ever went to civil court, or you ever got pulled over for motor vehicle infraction, you know that when you go to court, a lot of times they'll plead with you for you to cop to a lesser infraction, or pay a fine, or make a donation, okay? It's a deal, the art of the deal, okay? And we have to think that when we negotiate union and management, they're cutting some type of deal to remove discipline from your record, and you say you're not going to do something for a certain amount of time, right? That's negotiating. Fighting is different. Fighting is, no, you did this wrong. I can prove you did it wrong, and I'm going to fight to prove that you did that wrong. That's fighting. Okay? So, do we want to be in negotiating? Do we always want to be in the art of negotiation, or do we want to fight back sometime? Okay. The reason I think that it's easier to negotiate is because in some instances you have one shop steward for 20 carriers. Now, there's but so much that one person could do and still have to hold his own route and still have to survive on overtime and still have to provide for his own family. There's but so much one steward can do. Okay, an educated workforce, an educated craft, an educated zip code of letter carriers collectively, okay, has the power to fight. Okay, when I say fight, I mean we want management to cease and desist their behavior. Okay, we don't want management to do what they did to you to every other carrier in their zone. We want it to be outlined. We want people to document when they have been harassed by management. We want to create a file. We want to be able to present this as a grievance, and we want to escalate it up to arbitration if we have a strong enough case. That's how things will change. The division amongst carriers just makes it easier for management to dissect the contract bit by bit, piece by piece, region by region, branch by branch. Okay, there comes a point in time where we have to come together collectively and understand that we are the union. We have to educate ourselves. I'm sorry to say, we just can't rely on someone else to defend you. You are your greatest advocate. Just as if you live in a new country, if I move to France tomorrow, I have to learn the laws of France. I can't go over there expecting that what I did in America is going to just be the way that things operate in France. No. When I join USPS, I have to learn the contract that I'm governed on. I can't just base it off past practices of my other job, because that's not how it works. And I can't just allow my shop steward to be the only educated member, because maybe he may not know something that I know, or maybe he interprets something just a little bit different than the way that I interpreted it, and maybe I can have a different perspective, because language is powerful. Words are powerful. Okay, and the way that something is written, the way that you dissect that wording is how you win arguments. Okay, you may have a shop steward who is quite literal and will fight based off of what the word says. Then you may have a shop steward who looks at the linguistics of a word, and I know I'm digging deep here, but this language is powerful. Okay, and we all have different interpretations of the same thing, right? The way that you read something may differ from how I receive the information. So educated workforce, educated membership, educated union puts the strength back to the union. And that's what we have to do. We need to become a strong union again. It's bigger than just going to meetings and listening to business reports and treasury reports. It's bigger than just, putting all our faith into one shop steward or into a branch president. There comes a time where we have to invest in ourselves and educate ourselves and know what we're talking about and be able to challenge, based off of factual proof, evidence, contract language. That's where we need to head. And I get it. Some people aren't going to agree with me, and that's 100% fine. But if you're in this for the long run, it's almost a requirement for you to at least open that book once and kind of see what it says in there. All right. And a lot of the stuff that we as letter carriers should focus on is Article 16, discipline. And if we all profess Article 16, we become a educated workforce. Anyway, guys, until next time I'll be here, you'll be there. Peace.